It is fucking late as of the time of me recording this video, but that doesn't mean the grind stops. I'm still going to be pumping out content as much as possible for you guys, because I love you guys. Just a little quick update. I think I made a community post about it already, but uploads are going to be a little bit different. I still want to get daily uploads, but I'm probably not going to be uploading videos that are over an hour long as much. They're not going to disappear entirely. You're obviously still going to see them, but expect to see a lot of shorter uploads going forward until I figure out some system in place, because, again, I have had a work change. I got a new job. Oh my god, Iconismus finally employed. Holy shit, dude. Yeah, so, expect to see some changes. I'm still going to upload content for you guys. I'm not quitting, obviously. Just, there's going to be some changes to content. Daily uploads are still around. Just not going to be over an hour as much as I would like it to be, unfortunately. I would like to get as much long-form content out for you guys, but, you know, that's just kind of where we're at right now. And I'm pretty comfortable with that for now, and obviously anything can change, so we'll bring back over an hour long uploads if it gets to that point. But anyway, I have a whole community post on it. We don't need to harp about that anymore. Today, we are talking about the DoorDash girl again. So back in November, I made some videos on the DoorDash girl. Basically, the cliff notes of it is she was doing a DoorDash order. When she gets to the house, the door was open and he was like fully naked. The guy was like fully naked, basically passed out. It's possible that he was like drunk and passed out naked, but at the very least, it was a form of indecent exposure. And as time goes on, it's pretty obvious that the guy probably wanted her to see that, because the door was wide open. He was on the couch naked. The problem was the way the DoorDash girl handled it. She recorded him, posted him online naked on TikTok for people to see, and she then framed it as sexual assault. The way she responded to the situation, the way she handled it, was not okay. So, apparently there's an update. She's getting a felony charge, which is pretty fucking crazy. But I mean, I guess it was a form of revenge porn and like recording someone naked and posting them online without their consent. So that is technically a crime that she committed. But yeah, we're just gonna see the update.
This TikToker has finally been indicted months after she went viral for recording an unconscious man in his own home, naked from the waist down. She uploaded the footage to TikTok where nearly 30 million people saw it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really fucked up way to handle the situation. I mean, it's okay to say, basically, it's okay for her to say that she is a victim of the circumstances that happened, which is a form of indecent exposure and probably sexual harassment, right? It is okay to say that you're a victim of that. What is not okay to do, however, is recording him, posting him naked online on TikTok, and then saying that she is a victim of sexual assault. That's not okay. The way she handled it was completely disproportionate to what the reality of the situation was.
And then she called herself the victim.
I'm the one being punished. He's not getting in trouble with the police. He didn't lose his job if he has one.
I'm pretty sure DoorDash banned him from, ordering DoorDash, completely. He's no longer allowed to order from DoorDash anymore for his actions, which, good. Should he be arrested? Probably. I mean, it was a form of sexual harassment, and it is indecent exposure. He probably should get in trouble for that. But again, the way that Liv Henderson, which is her name, the DoorDash girl, she didn't handle it very well either.
What's going on with him? Why am I getting fired? Why are my videos getting taken down, and why am I getting strikes? I'm about to lose my account. I was assaulted. I'm the victim.
Again, she was not assaulted. She was a victim of indecent exposure.
I lost my job. I'm the victim.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
You see, Olivia Henderson, the TikToker here, claimed that this man sexually assaulted her during a DoorDash delivery. And that was even though he was completely unconscious the entire time.
Yeah, he was unconscious, but again, as time goes on, it's very unlikely that it was unintentional. Very unlikely. I mean, the door was wide open. He was fully butt naked on the couch. He might have had a shirt on. It doesn't matter. He was fully naked, his fucking dick was out. And it was pointed directly at the door. The odds of that being an accident, very low. I don't believe that. he probably intended for that to be the case.
But
and even if you're charitable to him, even if you think the guy got drunk and he got fully naked and passed out on the couch, even then, being drunk is not an excuse to do that. If you're drunk and you get into a car accident, that's not an excuse to get into a car accident. You still get arrested, and you probably still get charged with that shit for drunk driving. The same logic applies here. Just because you're drunk, that's not an excuse to do any form of sexual harassment.
Police investigated, they determined that no sexual assault occurred. And as a result of this whole thing, she ended up...
I mean, of course there wasn't. He was fucking passed out. How could he do sexual assault if he's completely fucking, like, passed out on his couch?
Arrested and charged with 2 felonies. She pled not guilty, and...
Now, there is a conversation to have about whether or not you think that Olivia Henderson getting felony charges is disproportionate. That, to me, based on what she did, I think felony charges are a little bit harsh. I don't know if she needs to be misdemeanor, sure. You could definitely charge her with a misdemeanor for that shit. I don't know if felony charges are entirely necessary. That seems a bit too much.
And her case got transferred to county court. And then
I guess one common thing about this situation is that everybody involved in the situation is so fucking disproportionate. You know, the guy should not have been fucking showing his dong to the fucking thing. Olivia Henderson should have called it sexual assault or posted him naked on TikTok. And the fucking police are now giving her felony charges, which I also think is disproportionate. And then tons of people online talking about the situation are disproportionate regardless of what they say. They're disproportionate saying that the guy is the real victim in the situation, or they're saying that Olivia Henderson is the real victim in everything. And neither of those positions are correct, in my opinion. It's just, like, the reality of the situation is that everybody is fucking disproportionate in this situation to some capacity.
A long time, it all went quiet. But now, after months of this case sitting in what felt like legal limbo, DoorDash girl has officially been indicted by a grand jury in Oswego County. And by the looks of it, the charges are exactly the same as what she was arrested for, which means the prosecution didn't water down a single thing. So in this video, we're going to talk about what the indictment means, what she's facing, and why this might signal that the DA is not necessarily messing around with this case. Let's get into it. Okay, so just to make sure that we're all on the same page here, since it has been a bit since our last video on the subject, let me first give you a quick recap of the case. This is Olivia Henderson. She is 23 years old from Oswego, New York. Back on October 12th, 2025, she was working as a DoorDash driver. And while working, she picked up a Wendy's order and delivered it to a customer in the city of Oswego. Apparently, that customer had selected the option to have his order left at the door. This is important for this case.
And my customer requested that their order be left at their front door. And when I arrived at their house, their front door was wide open, and they were within eyesight of the front door, laying on the couch indecently exposed to me.
However, this conflicts with some reporting that's out there saying that the man actually has ring footage that shows her pushing the door open to see inside his home.
Dude, I don't know what it is about this situation, but there is so much misinformation and disinformation that is going on about this fucking DoorDash case. It's fucking insane how people are willing to just, like, take a piece of information and run with it and not do their due diligence to actually look into the situation. They buy into a narrative that they can't look into. So many people were like, oh, there's a video of her opening the door herself and intentionally trying to see him naked. Like, dude, if you can find a video of her opening the fucking door, I will literally, like, chop my entire ball sack off and deliver it to your home. Like, I will do that if you can find a video of her opening the door herself. This is the problem, is that people just fucking say things. They just say whatever they think the narrative is, and they don't fucking do their due diligence at all. Like, it's actually fucking crazy how people are so comfortable just doing that. And it drives me insane that people are not willing to, like, be truthful about the situation, whatever. It makes it so much more difficult to get to the bottom of what actually happened.
And police would apparently later determine through their investigation that this man was incapacitated and unconscious due to alcohol consumption, and that therefore the assault couldn't even have happened in the first place. Now, a reasonable person...
Yeah, I mean, there was obviously no sexual assault. It couldn't have happened. He was passed out. There's no way he could have done it.
Walking into a situation like this where you have a customer that is unconscious on their couch, half naked, probably would have just set the food down and walked away.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, that's a valid thing to criticize her for. Because, like, if she saw that, she could file a complaint with DoorDash saying, hey, he had his door open, he was fully naked. You can file a complaint and move on. Again, the way that she handled the situation, it made it so much worse for herself. And, like, I guess it's pretty clear that, like, Olivia Henderson maybe was, like, social media addicted to some capacity. Because she had, like, tons of followers on social media and she posted a lot on social media. So she probably has, like, a massive fucking social media addiction. I would not doubt it. Maybe she should go to, like, mandatory therapy for social media addiction. I don't fucking know. I'll let you guys be the judges of that shit.
And if the door was indeed open, they may have just closed the door for the guy, or maybe even called someone to check in on him to make sure he was okay. But Henderson pulled out her phone and recorded him instead.
That's fucked up.
She then uploaded that video to TikTok with no censorship over his body, and she included his first name in the caption, not to mention the front of his house.
It's insane to, like, include someone's first name as well. It definitely communicates to me, like, a huge level of, like, indecency from her part. Now, granted, she obviously doesn't have to be nice to him. Like, I'm not saying she has to be, like, super, super nice, but it is unprofessional, and it also does, like, I guess optically it could make DoorDash look bad if they have someone working for him that's willing to record somebody naked and post it on TikTok. That makes them look bad. So really, neither of them are good in this situation. They both suck.
And this video racked up nearly 30 million views before TikTok finally took it down. And then she uploaded it again before TikTok took it down once again.
You guys, my account is currently at risk of being banned because I had to explain my story one time, right? They took the video down and gave my account a strike. So I explained my story again and censored the video that I have just so they can't take it down for the same reason. They took it down for the same reason again, and now my account has a second strike. Guess what? If I get one more strike, I'm banned from TikTok. So not only—
Guys, I can't fuel my social media addiction anymore. God damn it, dude! Fuck! What will I ever do without TikTok?
She went
I don't know. Talk to people in the real world, I guess.
on a TikTok campaign of sorts.
Yeah, it's pretty clear to me that she was like fucking, I don't, should I say manipulated? I don't know if manipulated is the right word, but like in the online world, it's very common for a lot of people to be told different narratives, and like everybody has a victim complex online, or not everybody, but tons of people do. And whenever you're told something, like whenever you're fed a narrative and your narrative gets like over-validated, like you're going to believe that that narrative is a legitimate reality of the situation. And in this case with Liv Henderson, she was probably like told that like a very awful thing happened to her. And then she was like, I guess somehow like convinced that it was a sexual assault that occurred to her. And then she, just said that she was sexually assaulted online because she genuinely thinks that it was some form of violent assault that occurred to her when it wasn't.
It's claiming that this man sexually assaulted her. But here's something worth noting, which I have talked about in previous videos before. When she says that she was assaulted by the guy, she didn't go to the police first. Instead, she first uploaded to TikTok. Then she reported to DoorDash second, apparently. And she only went to the police after commenters on her viral video suggested that she should do it.
And they sent a police officer over to speak to me in person.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, if you really thought that the sexual assault was, like, a real thing, it's, again, another valid criticism to be like, yeah, why didn't you go to the police at first if it was an actual assault, right? Instead, you decided to post about it on TikTok because you wanted to get TikTok famous. Here's the thing. She wanted a lot of attention from this. It's pretty clear. Like, posting something like that on TikTok means you want it to blow up. You want to get attention. You want to get tons of views off of it. The problem is that she didn't get the attention that she wanted from it. She wanted to get positive attention from it. She didn't get positive attention. She got a lot of pushback for her video.
Person and watch the video that I have, and then he asked me to email it to him, and he asked me if I want to press charges, like what do I want to come from this.
And the sequence of events is potentially important. I would imagine that the prosecution is likely to put it in front of a jury so that they can understand that her allegations of sexual assault were not really legitimate, that she didn't have a good faith belief in them, if the first place that she went to was TikTok as opposed to the police.
Yeah, it's pretty... Again, she wanted to go social media viral. If it was an actual sexual assault, you go to the police for that shit. That shit's serious. And again, she was probably, like, I guess gaslit into believing that, like, what happened to her was unironically a fucking assault that occurred.
Now, on top of that, DoorDash did respond to this whole situation. First, they banned the customer and Henderson. Then, because this incident went so viral, DoorDash actually put out their own statement about it on TikTok. There, they said that posting a video of a customer in their home and disclosing personal details publicly is a clear policy violation, and that was the only reason that her account was deactivated. But you know, Henderson was not happy about any of it. And the thing she seems to have been most upset about was the fact that she wasn't going to get paid for the views on the viral videos since they had been taken down by TikTok.
What is that entitlement? I can't get paid for my social media addiction, guys. I can't get paid for posting a dude naked online. Dude, what the fuck is this?
They took down my video. They were gonna have to pay me for my second story time because that was over a minute long. They were gonna have to pay me for all those views I got. So nope, they took that right down. They took that right down. Absolutely not. They're not paying me for that. Nope.
And that's something that is going to be probably important to show her intent in posting these videos in the first place. By the way, if you need help with a real legal issue in your life, contact us at the Bites Law Group at bites.law. We're partnered with firms all across the US. So
hey man, you know what we gotta do, guys. We watch all the ads straight through.
if you go to the link in the description below, we can help you find quality representation in your jurisdiction. Anyway, as I was saying, I mentioned earlier that the Oswego City Police Department investigated Henderson's claims, and they said that they reviewed independent video evidence from the scene. And on top of that, the man apparently cooperated fully and gave a statement. So the police concluded through their investigation that the man was incapacitated and unconscious on his couch due to alcohol consumption, and that no sexual assault had occurred. So on November 10th, 2025, Henderson was arrested by the Oswego City Police Department for recording the man while he was naked and then uploading that recording to the internet. She was charged with 2 felonies.
Sorry, I wanted to let that finish playing before I gave my commentary on that. I think that her getting arrested and probably getting a misdemeanor would be more proportionate of a response than 2 felonies. I think felonies are harsh. That's crazy. Like, I don't think that that's proportionate to the situation at all. That's a little too much for me. I would have given her, like, some misdemeanor charges, maybe do some time in prison, probably get some, like, mandatory therapy for social media addiction to some extent, because it's pretty clear that her social media addiction is extraordinarily high, given her behavior. But that's really it. Like, honestly, like, I don't think felony charges are extremely harsh.
The first count was for unlawful surveillance. That's for the act of actually recording the man with her phone without his consent. And the second count was dissemination of an unlawful surveillance image. That's for the act of uploading that footage to the internet. Then on December 4th, 2025, Henderson showed up at Oswego City Court for her arraignment, where she pled not guilty. After that, the case got transferred from Oswego City Court to Oswego County Court. And this is standard in New York for felony cases, as is the case in probably most states. In New York, city courts don't actually have jurisdiction to try felonies, only to do the most basic early appearances. That means that once it goes to a grand jury for an indictment, the case is automatically transferred to county court. So until that grand jury indictment, this case has kind of been in limbo between the two, although it seemed like it was being positioned to be transferred to county court. That said, for a while, it was still very unclear to the public what was really going on until now. And so here's the big update. Olivia Henderson has now been officially indicted by a grand jury in Oswego County. As you can see from her docket here, her case is now listed in the Oswego County court system under an indictment case number. And the charges, let's take a look. As I mentioned before, they are the exact same charges that she was originally arrested for. You can see that count 1 is for dissemination of an unlawful surveillance image, which is Penal Code Section 250.60. And then there's count 2, which is unlawful surveillance brought under Penal Code Section 250.45 sub 01. So the prosecution has not diluted a thing. They didn't downgrade any charges. They didn't drop anything. They brought the exact same felonies to the grand jury. And the grand jury looked at the evidence that was presented to them and said, yep, there's enough evidence here. Proceed towards trial. So let's go over really quickly what a grand jury indictment actually is for anyone who isn't familiar. Similar to a jury that you see in a trial, a grand jury is a panel of people that are from the local community. And the job of a grand jury is to review the evidence from the DA's office and decide one simple question. Is there enough evidence to formally charge a person? Now, unlike a regular trial, grand jury proceedings are actually not open to the public. In fact, typically it's just the prosecutor there presenting evidence to the grand jury. The defense...
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it can, vary from case to case, and it depends on how big the case gets publicly. Because, if you look at Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, obviously that entire trial was broadcasted to the public, and, there's tons of clips floating around about that. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard is a very divisive thing. You get all sorts of opinions. I'm of the opinion that they're both not good people, ultimately. I would say Amber Heard was much worse than Johnny Depp was, ultimately, in the situation. I don't think Johnny Depp is a saint either, though. He definitely is, I would say probably has, some forms of abuse, for sure. But, again, Amber Heard is not good either. I don't think anyone really is a winner in the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation. I would say one's worse than the other. That's just my take, though. You guys can feel free to disagree. I'm open to... any arguments in regards to that, but anyway, we're getting a bit sidetracked there.
Usually doesn't participate at all. So really what that means is that the grand jury only hears one side of the case here. And that's one of the reasons why indictments are pretty notoriously easy to achieve. In fact, you've probably heard of the old saying that, if you really wanted to, you can indict a ham sandwich. So that's why it is important to note that even though, yes, she has been indicted here, it doesn't necessarily mean that there is enough evidence to convict her. Keep in mind that this is in fact a criminal case, which requires proof beyond reasonable doubt. And that is a much higher bar than what the grand jury had to decide on. Now, of course, based on the evidence that we do know that's out there and the charges themselves here in this particular case, it does seem like most of the evidence is probably actually available to the public, and there probably is enough to convict, in my opinion.
Most likely. I mean, she was very public with posting it on social media, so she kind of fucked herself over with that one. And granted, this situation probably wouldn't have gotten as big as it was if she didn't try to farm social media clout on the situation. Again, all she had to do was submit a report to DoorDash saying that he gave some level of indecent exposure. You could even honestly submit a police report if you really want to. Unfortunately, in cases like this, it's hard to actually get police to do anything about it because there are a lot of cops that don't care and don't want to do anything. So I sympathize in that regard. But the way she handled it was so bad. It was so fucking bad the way she handled this situation.
But I did want to note the differences between the burdens of proof in an indictment versus a trial, because that is a huge difference between the two. However, the fact that the DA went through a full grand jury indictment here is worth paying attention to. You see, the DA also had another viable option available here, and that is called a Superior Court Information, or an SCI. An SCI is basically a shortcut that would allow the prosecution to not need to put on a whole case in front of a grand jury. To do it, the defendant waives her right to a grand jury, and then the DA files a charging document. So basically, the case moves forward without that extra step. Now, SCIs can be an indication that both sides are actively working more towards a plea deal as opposed to towards trial. That's because an SCI is much faster and simpler than a full grand jury indictment, and it does signal cooperation between the two sides. But here, it looks like the DA didn't go the SCI route. Instead, they took the time to present the case to a full grand jury. And that could mean that they are taking this case pretty seriously.
Which probably means that she's going to get a lot of time in prison, which... that really... Oh my god. If she gets, several years in prison for this, dude, that would suck. I don't know, man. That's too much. That's insane to me. I don't know. I get it. Non-consensually sharing someone naked online is pretty fucking bad. And you probably deserve some level of punishment for that. But, if you get, several years in prison and you get felony charges for that, I think you're doing... maybe you guys disagree with me, but I feel like that's a little disproportionate. I think that's... I don't know. It's a little too much for me. I don't know. It's very harsh. given the actual content of the situation, considering the guy in the situation is also not good, and he should probably receive some punishment too.
Which means they might be a little bit less willing to offer easy plea deals, maybe because they want to make an example here. Now, with that said, it is also totally possible that Henderson was in fact offered a plea deal before the indictment and that she turned it down. But if she did, I personally think that's a pretty foolish decision, because the odds of her getting a better plea offer post-indictment are pretty slim. That's because the closer you get to trial, the less generous these offers tend to get. That is assuming, of course, that there isn't some sort of evidence that comes up that surprises everyone that is super beneficial to the defendant. Now, aside from that, some people might be wondering why this indictment took so long. I mean, the incident happened in October 2025. Then in November 2025, she was arrested. And now in April 2026, we are finally getting an indictment. So let's talk about that real quick. So under New York Criminal Procedure Law Section 30.30, the prosecution generally has 6 months to be ready for trial when a defendant is charged with a felony. And when a defendant isn't held in
because these legal cases tend to take forever,
custody and isn't charged with a violent felony, the DA's office doesn't have additional restrictions within those 6 months to...
I guess, like, when I think of felony, I do think of, like, violence or something, like armed robbery or fucking, like, I don't know, drugs or, like, some level of conspiracy or something, right? You know what I mean? Like, I guess... I don't know. That's usually what I think of when I think of felony. Like, something like this where it was obviously a very stupid thing to do on her part and she should have some repercussions happen to her. Like, felony charges, like, good luck getting like, she went viral, right? And I guess even without the felony charges, it's still gonna be tough for her to find a job even if she tries to get one in the real world because, like, this went viral. Liv Henderson, if you Google Olivia Henderson or Liv Henderson, this whole shit is going to show up. So her trying to get a fucking job, it's going to be rough. Like, good luck. I mean, I guess that's what you get for being fucking social media addicted and everything. But, like, still, it's just, I don't know. I think there are some of the, like, parts of this that are disproportionate. And also, like, where's the energy against the guy as well who fucking showed himself off naked? Like, listen... Like, both people should be punished, in my opinion.
Speed up.
And I think Liv Henderson is being too punished in this situation. That's what I think.
That timeline. And that's the situation here. She's charged with 2 felonies, but neither of them are violent. And she hasn't been held in custody basically since her arrest. And so while the wait has probably been very frustrating for a lot of people who are eager to find out more about this case as it proceeds.
I'm not that invested in this shit. I fucking go offline. If you're like eager to be invested in this shit, I don't know, man. Maybe find other things to do with your life. I don't fucking know. Jesus Christ. Guys, I really want this girl to get arrested. I hate women. I want to get this girl to get arrested. Dude, there's just so much misinformation on this fucking topic. People are so... That's one thing that's really just, like, frustrating me. The way people talk about this fucking situation really just, like, irritates me. Because you get people that are too in favor of the guy, and then they're too in favor of the woman. These, like, it's annoying. The way people talk about this situation is annoying. It's not productive. It's very, like, it's too fucking black and white, and it's too in favor of one side when they both suck.
Looks like it's actually well within the normal procedural timelines. And honestly, my guess is that this case was probably just sidelined for a period of time while the DA's office focused on maybe more urgent cases, maybe involving violent felonies, for example, for a period of time while the DA's office knew that they were within the statutory window for this particular case. Okay, so let's talk about what she's actually looking at in terms of potential punishment now that she has been officially indicted. So both charges are Class E felonies. And under New York Penal Law Section 70.00, the maximum prison sentence for a Class E felony is 4 years. Because she has 2 of these charges, and because these charges are for 2 separate acts, one recording, one uploading, she could be looking at up to 8 years in prison if they run consecutively. And I know that a lot of people are really hoping that she gets the full 8 years because what she did was truly awful. This man was...
I mean, yeah, it's awful, but, like, only... I don't know. Just, like, the guy is not a victim either. That's... Yeah.
unconscious in his own home. And he was in one of the most vulnerable states a person can be in. And
see, that's something that I have a problem. That takes like this, what this woman just said, takes like that are what I have a fucking problem with. Because you're signing too much innocence to the guy in this situation. That's what I have a fucking problem with. That's just not true. He was, oh my god, he was so vulnerable. I don't fucking care if you were drunk and you got naked and your door was open. It's still indecent exposure. Again, if you drunk drive, you still get arrested for that shit. You are responsible for the way you fucking present yourself, especially after you put an order in. When you're expecting somebody to come to your house, where you're just gonna leave your door open for people to see you naked, get the fuck out of here. I don't buy it for a second. Alright, like, it's just like, he was so innocent. No, enough of this. Stop.
In so many ways, footage that gets uploaded to the internet is forever. And honestly,
yeah, no shit. Yeah, obviously Liv Henderson is a fucking moron as well, but like, he's not good either.
A lot of people have probably rightly pointed out that if the genders were swapped in this particular case, there would be easy outrage across the board about the defendant's conduct. Instead,
yeah, okay, whatever, sure. I get. Let's turn it into a gender thing. Great.
Instead of helping him or just doing her job and walking away.
It's just so, like, again, I just hate the way people talk about this situation. It's so annoying, the way people talk about this.
She recorded his naked body, and then she put it on the internet for the entire world to see.
Yeah, that's a bad, again, yeah, sure, that's a bad way to handle it. I agree. Fucking dumb idiot move on her part.
And what's worse, probably most of all worse for her, because now this is evidence that is almost definitely going to be used against her.
Yeah, I mean, it probably should be. Just probably not used to inflict felony charges on her. Again, I think felony charges that's probably too much.
She said at one point on the internet afterwards that her purpose in sharing the videos to the internet was to shame and embarrass the man.
Like,
yeah, and she's social media addicted.
This is the only justice I'm getting, is exposing this man and having posted that video and it has gone viral. Like, now he can live with shame and embarrassment if people have seen it and knows who he is or where he, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, well, that clearly didn't work out in your favor, Miss Liv Henderson. She thought she was going to get positive attention from this. She didn't. And rightfully so. She deserves to be called out for it. Just there's just so much disinformation on this fucking topic. It just irritates me. I don't know why people can't be normal when they talk about shit. I don't get it. Why can't people just be fucking normal? Look at a situation normally, man.
I'm the one being punished. He's not getting...
That goes for Liv Henderson too, by the way. I'm not exonerating her at all. That goes for her too. She called it sexual assault. That goes for you too. You're not being normal about the situation either, Liv.
In trouble with the police. He didn't lose his job if he has one. Like, what's going on with him? Why am I getting fired? Why are my videos getting taken down, and why?
Because you recorded him naked, non-consensually, and you posted it online. That makes DoorDash look bad, if they have someone like that hired at their company.
I getting strikes. Like, I'm about to lose my account. I was assaulted. I'm the victim. I lost my job. I'm the victim. Right? Is this making sense to any fucking buddy?
And that's on top of what we said earlier about her seeming most upset about losing revenue from the viral videos that got taken down. She wanted those views, she wanted to get paid. So the intent to degrade and the intent to profit are both right there on camera coming out of her mouth. And that intent is really important for proving the case against her. So these admissions are incredibly damaging for her case. But all of that considered, here's the reality of sentencing. Henderson appears to have no prior criminal history. And to her credit, since her arrest, she's been fairly quiet on social media.
Yeah, and to be fair, like, I don't think Liv Henderson is, like, an actual, like, criminal person. Like, she got social media addicted, and she probably, like, I honestly don't, like, I don't think she was intending to, like, commit a crime, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure, like, I think she's just so fucking uneducated and stupid on what the law is. She probably thought that, like, posting him naked online was probably legal. I wouldn't doubt that that's what she thinks. It's obviously not legal, but, like, that's probably what she thought. She probably thought that it would be an okay thing to post, and that she would get positive attention from it. But it wasn't, right? And I think she knew what she was doing was wrong to some extent, but not, like, criminal wrong. You get what I'm saying?
Hasn't been making things worse for herself like many social media influencers who have run into legal trouble. And under New York law, the court has options beyond prison for sentencing, and those include probation and conditional discharge. So unless the DA and the judge really want to make an example out of her, there is a good chance that she'll probably get some form of probation. Do I personally love that result? No, but I'm simply looking at the reality of how these things tend to shake out. But
I mean, I don't think she should get felony charges. Probably probation is probably like, I would say that's a lot more proportionate than something like a felony charge. Even like misdemeanor charges, honestly, even. And if she has to do some time in prison, that's fine. Not like multiple years though. Like if we're looking at like multiple years in prison, again, it's just so disproportionate. Besides which, she's probably not going to be able to get a job anyways. Like, even with the misdemeanor and not the felony charges, if they do a criminal background check on her, it's probably not, like, she's probably still not going to be able to get a fucking job anyways, because if all they have to do is Google Liv Henderson or Olivia Henderson, and the DoorDash situation, the viral situation, is going to pop up anyway, so people are going to know who the fuck she is, and then they're not going to want to hire her anyways, because she records people non-consensually. That's the reality. She's going to have a tough time getting an actual job.
consider the fact that even if she does avoid prison, if she ends up with a felony conviction on her record, it does carry real consequences. It can affect employment, housing, professional licensing if she ever tries to pursue something like that, and a whole lot more. It follows...
I mean, she's probably not going to be able to work for a long time. She'll have to, work, in, a low-key underground laid low place or something like that. Or maybe she could resort to OnlyFans. I don't fucking know. Maybe that'll work out for her. Because honestly, here's the thing, right? If you get tons of social media attention, that's the best kind of promotion for OnlyFans. I'm not saying she should get into OnlyFans, by the way, but I look at the Fresh and Fit podcast, for example. The whole point, and the Whatever podcast as well, they bring on tons of women and they berate the shit out of them. They're usually 18, 19-year-old girls or other OnlyFans models. And it winds up promoting the fuck out of their OnlyFans. The number of subscriptions they get go up after they appear on those podcast episodes. So it's possible that she could still do something if she's willing to get desperate. I'm not saying she should, but it's that might be one of the very few options she has after this situation. I don't know.
You for a long time if you can't get it off your record. And personally, I think that she should face meaningful consequences. This wasn't some
Sure, just not felony charges or years in prison.
Kind of innocent mistake. It was a series of deliberate choices.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think she, intended to break the law. I think she was stupid and probably not educated on the law, but, she definitely did try to embarrass the fuck out of him online, at the very least, sure.
Chose to record him, and then she chose to upload it, and then
sure, yeah,
and she chose to monetize it, and then she chose to
I don't really care about the monetization. The whole monetization virtue signal is so fucking weird to me. It's people will be like, oh yeah, in apology videos, they're like, oh yeah, guys, this video is not monetized. I don't give a fuck. Monetize the fuck out of your apology video. Who gives a fuck? It's a whole virtue signal when people are like, yeah, guys, this video is not monetized. I want to make sure I don't monetize this video. Who gives a shit? Monetize the fuck out of it. I make money off that shit. I don't give a fuck.
Accused this man of sexual assault, and
yeah, that too. That's also bad.
She chose to double down publicly. Every single one of those choices was self-serving and at someone else's expense. And
yeah, well, I'm not really sympathetic for the guy in this situation. I'm sorry. I don't really feel too bad for him because he decided to fucking have his door wide open and his dong pointed at the fucking door. I don't exactly feel sorry for him either. It's pretty clear to me that, as the case goes on more and more, that he probably did that intentionally.
The person who paid the price was a man who was passed out on his own couch in his own living room in his own home.
Oh my god, guys, he was just accidentally naked on his couch and he accidentally left the door open and his penis was pointed accidentally at the fucking door. And he accidentally submitted a DoorDash order as well. Can't forget that either. He knew someone was coming at the house, but all those things were accidental. Shut the fuck up with this narrative. Stop. You guys are annoying when you talk about this. You guys are annoying. Shut the fuck up. It's I have to question whether this is some kind of fucking grift. That's what I have to question, is if you're siding with him just because the public opinion sides with the fucking guy over the girl, even though the guy's not good in the situation. Are you intentionally doing a fucking grift or something? Sorry, maybe I'm being too harsh to her, but it's like, come the fuck on. Like, why can't anyone be normal when they talk about this?
People can debate all day and night about whether or not the door was open, how open it was, if it was open at all.
It was wide open. The video showed it being wide open. There was also another thing people were doing is they were showing screenshots of like double doors being open or whatever or something like that. Or they were showing like screenshots of her opening the door. A lot of those were AI generated, by the way. Those screenshots. Like, it was discovered that they were AI generated. People were using like a bunch of fake photos as evidence. There's a lot of disinformation and misinformation about this topic. You can't, like, no. It's not real. Stop looking at like a fucking comment someone left. Stop looking at a random Twitter post or a random TikTok post. Stop looking at like random shit on social media and then being like, oh, that's a fact. That's factually a thing. Look into it. Fucking do your due diligence before you subscribe to a narrative. It's like the least you could do. Like, you have access to the internet. The lack of fucking media literacy on these people is insane.
Yada. The fact of the matter is, she is not clearly in the clear here with her conduct. Anyway.
No, I agree she's not in the clear. Neither is the guy, though.
Right, so where does the case go from here? The county court docket shows that her next court appearance is scheduled for May 1st, 2026 at 9 a.m. It was originally set for April 20th, but that got rescheduled for, I don't know, some reason. So now there are a few possible paths that go from here. Path number one is one I've mentioned, it's a plea deal. Honestly, this would be the smartest move for her at this point, in my opinion. If she accepts responsibility now, she likely gets a more favorable outcome than going to trial and losing. Because honestly, the evidence here looks pretty clear cut for the prosecution, and I think that if this case goes to trial, it ends with a conviction. And on top of that, when it comes to sentencing, judges also tend to look more favorably on defendants who take accountability. Anyway, then there's path number two. Here, her attorney could file a motion to dismiss the indictment. You can probably put two and two together here, but that is basically where the defense argues that the indictment should be thrown out entirely. Maybe they say...
Yeah, it's very unlikely that that's gonna happen at all. I don't think that you're gonna get this case dismissed by a long shot, especially with the evidence that does exist for this case.
If the evidence was insufficient, maybe they argue some kind of a procedural defect. But given the evidence, like I said, I think that is a very uphill battle. She made the video, she posted it, she talked about why she posted it extensively on the internet, to everyone, to the public, to the world. So trying to attack this indictment doesn't seem like the most successful route. Anyway, then there's path number three. If there's no plea deal and no successful motion to dismiss the indictment, then this case proceeds to discovery and eventually to trial. And you know, in my last video on this topic, I talked about how one of two things would probably happen here. Either she goes through some difficult character development and eventually decides to take a deal, or she digs in until the very end and almost certainly gets convicted with a harsher sentence. And so it seems like we are probably about to find out fairly soon which of those two paths she chooses. And I, for one, will be watching very closely. Until then, the way I see it, this could end up going either way, but at the moment it looks like things are moving forward towards trial.
Yeah, seems like it. And I guess we'll just have to see where it goes from here, as this could take months or even a year. I'm not that invested in it, ultimately. Again, I still come to the conclusion that the way she handled the situation was fucking dog shit and terrible, and she's very clearly social media addicted to some capacity. But the guy is not a helpless victim. And people that say that, I just don't think you guys know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm sorry. Anyone who has that take is just like, really, you guys are looking at this situation too one-dimensionally. That's just not, like, I don't think it's so black and white. I think they both suck in their own way. The way she handled it sucked. The way the guy, like, essentially started the situation sucks. The way people respond to the situation sucks. The punishment she's receiving, potentially getting felonies, sucks. Everybody sucks in this situation. I don't think there's anybody that's good in this situation. Like, no one is good in this situation. That's my conclusion.
My opinion, her best move at this point is to take a plea deal if one is offered. Going to trial with this mountain of self-incriminating evidence just seems like a terribly losing strategy. But Those are my thoughts. What do you think? Do you think she might take a plea deal and actually accept responsibility for what she did here? Or do you think that she's going to keep digging her heels in and take this all the way to trial? And do you think that she deserves prison time, or is probation the right call here?
Probably probation, maybe some misdemeanor charges at the very least. Probably some jail time, but not too much. Probably at maximum, maybe 1 year in jail. I don't know. At maximum. But no more than a year. I would say minimum, maybe 4 months in jail or something. I don't know. Something very light. You don't have to send her in jail for a long time. Just a good amount of time. I don't know. It's we don't need to overload the fucking narrative and basically fuck up her entire life. I mean, her life's already fucked up regardless of the legal punishment that she gets, because Liv Henderson is all over the internet. People know who she is, and she's probably never going to be able to work a real job ever again.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this, or at least found it interesting or informative. And if you did, I would love it if you could hit the like button. It does help us with the YouTube algorithm gods. And if you need help with a real legal issue in your life, contact us at the Bites Law Group. Our website is linked in the description below.
Yeah,
now,
thanks,
something
lady.
that can make a big difference in these cases is whether or not you're...
Like I said, guys, we gotta watch all the ads. We're reacting to a video, we're gonna watch every single ad, and you're gonna stick by me with it. Or you could just skip ahead in this video and not give a fuck.
Case is in the hands of a good lawyer. And so many people are out there fighting these battles without the best person on their team.
Hey man, we got to be fighting the good fight, I guess. I'm not getting into any legal trouble right now, and hopefully it stays that way, but you never know. Times are unpredictable these days. Maybe I'll find myself in a legal battle one day. I hope not, though. We'll try to stay off the legal battles as much as we can.
I started Legal Bites
because they're a fucking headache.
Because I saw this massive gap between how the legal system...
There was a massive gap in my asshole.
actually works and what most people understand about it. When you don't know your rights and you can't understand legal jargon that's used. When you're
Jargon.
intimidated by the whole process, that's
Jarvis enhanced the legal jargon.
That's when you're most vulnerable. Making these videos, breaking down trials, explaining the law in ways that actually make sense to most people, that has been incredible. But after years of doing this, I wanted to do more. Because the thing is, when you're facing a real legal problem, you need someone in your corner who gets it. And
hell yes. I guess this is a W ad?
that's why I created the Bites Law.
Yeah, the Legal Bites channel. What kind of cases does she specialize in? I'm curious. What kind? I don't know. I'm not. I guess I'm not that curious. I'm too lazy to fucking look it up. But curious to know what specifically she specializes in.
Law Group. It's the same mission as this channel. Make the law work for you, not against you. Whether
getting legal help. Okay, so I guess she specializes in just about everything, I suppose. Yeah.
You're dealing with a consumer issue, you've been wronged by a company, or you just need someone to fight.
Bankruptcy. Oh, wow. She specializes in all kinds of stuff. Cancer, DUI. Wow, look at that. Divorce, insurance claims. Ooh, wow. She's your Saul Goodman. Better call Legal Bites.
For your rights, we are here to help.
Do you think she would help Walter White or fucking Tony Soprano? Do you guys think that she would be one of those lawyers? She would help them out.
Help.
What do you guys think?
Built this firm on the same...
Guys, Liv Henderson's a bad person. Also, I'm going to help Heisenberg. Make sure that he gets out of legal trouble as well. I gotta make sure I cover up for his fucking meth and his fentanyl, guys. Oh my god.
Same principle as I built this channel. You deserve to understand what's happening in your case. You deserve straight answers, and you deserve a lawyer who treats you like a person, not a case number. We are taking the same approach that I take in every single video, breaking things down, empowering you with knowledge, and actually giving a damn about the outcome. So if you need legal help, check out Bites Law Group at bites.law, also linked in the description below. And if you don't need us right now, that's great too. I hope you keep watching, keep learning, and keep growing your understanding of your rights. That's how we make the world a better place.
What the fuck is this outro music? Bro, this outro music is so fucking... I don't know why this outro music is so funny. It's kind of silly. Yeah, that was... Well... Everybody sucks in this situation. That's really all I can say about that.